What's up, everyone? I'm Damien,
And I'm Nick.
and this is the Aki Culture Club.
What's going on, boys and girls, and everybody in between? Welcome back to episode 56 of the Yaki Culture Club. And well, we got a pretty good one for you this week because it's another 2 weeks mashed into one. We have some shows ending, kinda, and a lot to go over.
Oh, yes, Nick, I'm actually pretty excited that we combined last week's episode and this week's episode together.
Mm.
I think it gives us a lot more to talk about, but also we get to say goodbye to quite a few shows in 1 week.
Yes.
Three, I think. Two are officially ended, and then one is unfortunately getting on a hiatus
Yeah.
until spring of 2022. So that's kind of wild.
Yeah,
But yeah.
dude. Talk about like illegal cliffhanger ending
Oh
to that.
man, that's foul. I wrote that down in my notes. I was like, wow, that is so foul. How they just literally put it on the worst cliffhanger. I guess the best. It would be cool if it was like a week from now, like we get to see what actually happens, but to wait a whole season just for two more episodes. Oh,
Mm. Now, do you know? So we're talking about 86.
yeah,
You
yeah,
want
we
to
are.
you want
Yeah.
to just get into 86?
Let's just do it.
It was what, episode 12 or 10?
10.
10 of the second season.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know? Is there more, and two, is it going to be like they're going to do 11, 12, and then go into the next season in the spring?
Okay, so I think the way that it's going to be is I think there's more just based off how many light novels are left.
Mm.
I don't think it's going to go into a third season. Technically, this is like the second core of the first season, but it's everyone's calling it season two. So
Mhm.
like the season three, uh, I I think they're just going to do the two episodes with the time slots that they have available, and then just like be gone for like a year or 2 years or however long it takes them to uh, produce another season.
Those two episodes have a lot to cover for me to be satisfied with that.
They have it. I fully agree. It's to the point where I'm just like, wow, this is such a good show,
Mhm.
and the fact that we get stiffed like that is so disappointing
Mhm.
because it is so good and the characters are so well written,
Mhm.
and it feel like so much happened in one episode that's it's kind of disappointing that we don't get to know. Like for example, in the very beginning of the episode, pretty much everyone that's a part of 86 just like kind of died.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. It's always off screen, so we don't know if they're dead. But like, I mean, Raiden, he's dead.
Yeah,
Like, there's no way he's not. But they all just like sacrifice themselves for Shin to keep going at some point. Like, and yeah, that's Anju's dead. Krena's dead. Raiden dead. Dead.
like just everyone, and it's just Shin left. Like it blows my mind that all that happened in like the span of like 30 seconds. Like them
Mhm.
just not 30 seconds, but like the first few minutes of the episode. Um and yeah, they're just like gone. And then we now have to wait an entire season to see actually what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Shin cannot be dead. There's no way. But also, like, how could he survive that?
It feels like it's almost impossible.
Yeah, and that dude, that's like self-destruct timer when it just got quiet and we just saw the timer clicking down. It was like the suspense in that was just perfect.
It was I have goosebumps just thinking
Me
about
too.
like the suspense of the timer ticking down. And I'm like, oh, it's at first I thought he had like 7 minutes, and then it went or 8 or 9 minutes, and then it went down a second, and then down a second. I was like, oh, oh,
No,
oh, that's milliseconds that's going, not minutes.
man. And but like, so that Kiri, her
Mhm.
knight,
Yeah,
like he didn't. I don't think he wanted to self-destruct like that. I feel like it was just like a built-in thing because
yeah.
they don't want anyone else to get the Morpho cannon.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of parallels between Shin and Kiri in this episode.
Oh my god, I think it was almost like that was the point.
Yes.
And she even called him what Kiri Noisen,
Hmm.
like that's his last name.
Yeah, they're from the same clan,
They're from the
the,
same
the Nozen
clan.
clan, Nozen clan, however you say it.
Oh, see, I forgot. I didn't even pick that up. That just shows you where I'm at with that one.
Yeah, well, it like one how, like I guess because he's part of originally the Giad Empire or
Hmm.
whatever they were before that, and then Shin is in Sagmagnolia. So I need to know more about like this world and how big it is, and like how could they be separated amongst empires? And I don't understand. I don't get it.
No, that's a really good point. You're right. Like they were in two totally different empires, yet still in the same clan.
Hmm.
Does that mean that the world is bigger than we realize and or know, and that you as a family can travel between multiple different empires and live there and go up the ranks of their military?
I I bet there was like how like the Ackermans are like the well-known like fighters, like they kind of have powers in Attack on
Yeah.
Titan. Like I
Hmm.
bet there was like that's his family, and there was like some sort of coup or rebellion early on before he was born, and like the Shin side of the family got like stuck in Magnolia when the other ones rebelled and got out and made it to a
Mm.
different empire. I bet there's some sort of backstory like that.
I would fully support that theory because like he does have that ability to like hear when the machines are close to him.
Mhm.
So like who's to say that like that's not like a family power?
Right, because Frederica has powers.
She does. So we're not in like a world where that's totally unheard of or like fantasy, you know?
Right. Yeah, and it's like we said, they're so alike. I mean, they look alike,
Mhm.
and I mean it's a consequence of the circumstance that both of their only motivations was the battlefield. Like
Mhm.
I think what's the quote I wrote down? I didn't write down the actual quote, but they're like all they have is the battlefield. And Shin even said like when I'm fighting, I forget everything else. It's nice and peaceful. Like
Yeah.
and Kiri was saying the same thing of like this is all I have left is battle, and then that's it, and they're the same person.
They are. And it like I guess it furthers your theory that they're I don't know, that there's powers at play here. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, there's got to be some like bloodline powers is a
Mm,
thing in anime and like a lot of shows. And
mm,
like, why is Frederica the only one who can like she like see the past and present kind of?
yeah, that is
So
it goes unexplained.
mhm,
That's all. It just goes unexplained. And it's like throughout this entire episode, like they just made those cross parallels, even up until the moment of his death. When like the thing that really got me was when Shin's older brother, they were in like that royal, I don't know, area, and she's like, they're stand like Frederica and Shin are standing at the doorway,
mhm,
and Kiri is with Shin's older brother, and then they walk through the door, which is symbolic of like him passing on.
mhm,
Um, like his older brother was there. So like they are like it's just weird. I think that they are a family, but they never explained it that way.
mhm.
And they never explained the ties that they had with their family unit and like how Frederica is able to like like is the one that kind of connects them.
Right.
I don't know. There's a lot left to be said here.
I know it almost makes me want to read the novels, but like it's the animation in the show is so good. Like I want to know what happens in the story, but I want to see it the way that they've been doing it because it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I struggle with that a lot, like with this season of Demon Slayer. And I'm not saying we should jump right into Demon Slayer, but it's almost like I want to read the manga because I'm like getting really impatient with how good the show is, and like I have only like I'm only reading up to the parts that I've seen because like obviously with this podcast and the show, like I don't want to know everything. I don't want to know things past when we see them because that kind of takes the fun out of like our assumptions and guessing and trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and like it kind of bogs things down a little bit, makes it not as fun. But with 86, that's almost just like, damn, like, why not just read? You know, I thought Lena was going to show up in this episode.
She's going to show up. There's gonna like it's gonna happen. She's not dead.
I agree. She's not dead. I really truly thought, Nick, that when he had his last bullet left and he was standing there and he was like, you know, I have one bullet. My engines are fried. Everyone's gone. Like, he has taken no damage whatsoever. Like, I need to go and shoot him like right now.
Mhm.
And when the missiles came down to like fire on top of him, Shin obviously only had one bullet left. So I'm like, okay, where is this fire coming from? And I'm like, dude, this is Lena's crew. Like, they knew about this and they're showing up to save him. And I thought like that was the voice that she heard like the voice that he heard was Lena's voice. So I was like,
yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, where are these missiles coming from? Who's shooting them? It's got to be them.
yeah, I was convinced, and now since it wasn't them, apparently, yeah, I guess it was Raiden or something. I'm fully convinced that when the explosion happened, like Lena's like lead now came in and saved Shin.
Yeah,
and like pulled him out of the fire before like it exploded, or pulled him out of the way before it exploded.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, really. And like an explosion of that size, that it's going to be seen all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So, if any time for them to meet, it's in these next 2 episodes that is coming in how many months from now? We've been waiting for
April. season 6 of our show. But season 5 starts next week, so only like 3 months, maybe.
That's definitely gonna be a one-off episode. The closure that we get from 86 season 2.
I fully agree. That's gonna be like very cathartic to watch the very last 2 episodes, and hopefully, the production team pushing off this show for multiple weeks and then not having the time slot to be able to view the episodes, because the episodes are done, I believe, and that they just needed that time to air them. But there's like really no time with a lot of the big shows that are coming up, and then like on Sunday, essentially, they just don't have the room. So like they have to wait until they can show them in the spring. So I'm hoping that the hype doesn't die off and people aren't watching it, and the Blu-ray sales are down because it was just kind of fragmented in viewers, and then it gets canceled and we don't get to watch the anime anymore. That's the worst thing that I could imagine happening, and I hope that it doesn't.
If we don't get to see at least the next 2 episodes, I'm gonna throw a fit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
Instant one.
Yes, that's the only power I have.
That's the only power we have in this situation, Nick. We can't complain to anyone except ourselves. We can't do anything. We can't protest. We're alone in our box, in our square that we have here.
Dude, we got some power with our audience. You know, we can motivate a crowd.
We can motivate a crowd. Watch 86 and buy, I don't know, the manga so we can get a 3rd season.
Yes. It's awesome though. Like, if you're not watching it and you're an anime fan, you should be watching it.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree with that. This is one of those that from this entire year that we had, which we had a heck of a year, have to watch 86. Have to.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, we're only going to get to see it again in April or whenever.
Cue it in 4 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
Peace.
Dude, I want to go down. And you know what that is. You know what I'm talking about when I say we need to go down.
You want to go how far down, Nick? How far down do you want to go?
I mean, to the bottom of this season for sure.
All right, let's do it. Demon Slayer, come on. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, Platinum Ends.
Platinum End. Oh my God.
Rating went down again. Went down another 0.1 to 4.3.
Nick.
Why did we put ourselves through it?
This is shit.
Yeah.
This is shit trash. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So you initially messaged me like the plans for this episode, and you said Platinum End 12 and 13. Did I miss? I only watched 12. Was there a 13?
No, they had a production issue and they didn't push it forward. So only 12 this week.
Okay. Do you really want to watch 13?
No, I really don't. I kind of over, like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, actually. Like, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, yes, I'm over it. And throughout the entirety of this episode, I was like, all right, Mirai, it's time to do something. It's time to come on, like, snap to it, bro. Like, let's do something here. And it kind of just felt like nothing happened. And then at the very end of the episode, he's talking with Metropolitan. I'm skipping the whole episode, like right, just
Right.
jumping to the end because I kind of want to connect it right now. He says, like, I don't want to have my happiness to be taken away from me by murdering somebody. So like in that moment, like I know he's never gonna murder anyone.
Right.
Like he will never take revenge in that way. And I'm not saying that's the only way that you can take revenge. I'm just saying that it's like she was right there in front of you, bro.
Yep. That
Like
that kind of like what we've been hoping for this whole season, like him to snap and like do something. It's just never gonna happen now.
it's just not like we're never gonna see him do that. And it's like, yeah, this might be cool, like Death Note style writing, where it's like really intricate and like he's like really intelligent, but he doesn't come off like that at all.
Mhm.
It's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, it's like the amount of, I always read the comments, like the Crunchyroll comments, and like the amount that I see that were just like, this MC sucks so bad, and like there's no character development. Make a decision, do something. It's just 80% of them.
Yeah, and the character, and there's a point there to be had or to be made about the character development. Like, if you don't want to murder anyone, that's okay, but
Mm,
you need to situate yourself as that type of pacifist character that still is able to like understand the situation that you're in, right? Like
mm,
this man will kill you. He wants to kill you. He wants to kill Saki. He obviously is Mercado's like dead on the ground at this point. Like he's down. You know, we knew he was going to die eventually. um, and then Hishami, Hajime is
yeah.
just like he died because like Mirai didn't make a decision.
Hmm.
And it's like you inadvertently killed him. Like they're trying to play with the whole like train ethical situation for like the past like 12 episodes. It's like the train is going to kill either this group of people or this one person. You have to decide what lever you want to pull. And it's like, dude, like,
Yeah. How many times do we have to go through this conundrum?
yes,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's there was so much more potential for this show, and it just didn't hit it. So
I
yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's like I want to know how he's going to end his fight with Metropolitan, and that's kind of it. Like that is like the last retaining shred. Like if I'm on like 5 fingers off a cliff and like one more finger left and I'm off the cliff and I'm just dropping it, like that last finger is to see what happens between his fight with Metropolitan and him. Like if it's really really intricate and he does a really good job, the writing is really good and the animation is good, but if it's just like CGI trash, like Metropolitan runs, like the little kid was a decoy, like something stupid like that, it's just like I'm over it. Like I'm tired.
Yeah, I mean, I can guess how it's going to end.
Go
How this
ahead.
fight's going to end is he's going to have an opportunity where like he can't use his red arrow for some reason. Like Metropolitan Man gets shot by a red arrow, or he's already been shot by a red arrow, and he's going to have this opportunity to use a white arrow and kill him, and he's not going to do it. Metropolitan Man's going to get away because he's our main antagonist, and we're back to square one.
With Mercado dead, um, and that's it. Yeah, I honestly like I think that's a really good way of putting it. Like he's not going to be able to use his red arrow for some unforeseen reason, and he's going to be forced to use his white. But it's going to be the same story over again. He's not going to be able to use it, and you're right. Metropolitan Man's going to get over it. A lot of people are unhappy with this show.
Yeah,
Like
this
a lot of
is
people who, sorry, go ahead.
no. I'm just agreeing.
Yeah, I think it's the adaptation from what I've read online has just been poorly done, and like I I just want to see what happens in the next episode. I'm like an addict over. I probably shouldn't say that's terrible. I just want to know what happens in the next episode. But then I'll see the next episode and be like, oh, I really want to know what happens in the next one. But like I also said that about Tactop Destiny. I ended up finishing that anyway too. So
Yeah. Wait, you finished it?
oh yeah, yeah.
Was it worth it?
Oh no, no, Nick, it was not. It was not worth it.
Yeah.
I need it was not worth it.
I'm,
The
I'm,
animation was amazing, and the music was awesome.
that's all that show had.
Oh, it carried it off to the very end. There was like a little tinge of like sadness with the Lenny character. Remember the dude with the long hair and Titan, the music cart with the orange hair. But the animation was amazing. But oh my god, the story was just like, okay, bro, like you just ended it like that. All right, like congratulations, like
Yeah.
um, yeah. Sorry, diverting back to Platinum Men. I think that season 4 we should start fresh. Um, and I sorry because we're still gonna be doing Demon Slayer, so that's not true. I think we should just drop Platinum Men.
I think so too.
I think
Are you gonna watch episode 13? If you do, report back. I'm not watching it. I'm done with
okay,
the
yeah.
show.
I'll tell you about episode 13 when it drops. It would have been nice if they had it on schedule this week because we would know and we could say whether or not it's a drop or not. But I think with like episode with season 5 of our podcast, the winter 2022 season, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that we're gonna be watching. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily think that this should be taking up a spot. It's
Yeah,
just me.
I'd much rather replace it with something that has potentially to be good, even if
Yes.
it's bad. Even if it's another bad show, I'd rather watch a different bad show than this bad show.
Ew, that's a good way of putting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some, I think there might be some bad stuff that we're gonna watch. Who
Yeah.
knows if it's gonna be bad or not? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Why pick them if you know they're going to be bad?
Well, I don't know if they're gonna be bad or not, but they're just not very popular.
Okay. Okay.
And I mean popular. I mean like fucking my anime list popular. Like let's be real here. So like
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a good indicator of whether or not something's gonna be good or not.
Right.
Um, all as I know is we're gonna have Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan in one season, so
What
we're
more do
good.
you need?
We're good there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need anything else. That's it.
No, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Platinum Man, you're trash. Goodbye, I guess.
Get out. All right. Um, we still have a lot to talk about.
We do.
Where you want to go next?
Um, oh, you want to do Blue Period then Demon Slayer, or Demon Slayer then Blue Period?
And what about Assassin?
Oh my god, I've totally forgot about that.
How could you forget?
I know, right? I guess because it doesn't have 2 episodes, and I was only looking at 2 that we have left. Yeah, let's do Assassin. I think.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. If we don't get a second season, I'll be pretty sad.
Yeah, there has to be a second season. Because the way that this episode ended, it was first off, I'm so glad we did not drop this show. Like weirdness, like small weird elements aside, I think that the writing was really really great. I think the
Mhm.
Lou character was awesome and very consistent throughout the entirety of the show, which I was really big fan of. Like he never faltered as an MC or became like hesitant, which I thought was really awesome. You see a
Mhm.
lot of MCs in shonens and isekais have like be really powerful, but also be like hesitant in some regard too. Lou never did that, which I
Mhm.
was like, that's awesome. I'm really happy that his character development was he had character development. And he was also consistent with who he was at his core, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it did a lot of things. Like it broke a lot of norms.
Hmm.
I don't watch a ton of isekais, so maybe that's like how it is. But like, so we went into this thinking that Santanta Magnus was the hero, right?
Yeah,
And he shows up and he's super powerful. He has
hmm
that spear or
the gay
whatever.
bog.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
And this dude kills him in 2 seconds. Like
Yeah.
that never happens. If this is supposed to be the big baddie, it's always like a drawn out, and then like the main character goes through you know, the whole hero's journey in one battle.
Hmm.
And that just didn't happen.
No,
He's just dead.
but the way he killed him, though, assuming that he was the hero, the way he killed him was formulated in bits and pieces throughout the entirety of the first season.
Hmm.
Like the way he created his magic, the way that he like I don't know what else did he do. The way that he created his magic, the way that he set up his like I don't know. What else did he do? I'm drawing a blank. Shit.
Everything he did led up to that. Like that
Yes.
this spell that was supposed to be his kind of his trump card spell, and now we saw it already. So he's gonna have to probably do something else with the hero.
Yes.
But yeah, he just nuked him
Yeah,
from the sky.
I know. And the dude was super powerful. He was able to regen. He had interesting powers, which like made me think. This episode aside, like the world that's we're inhabiting right now with World's Assassin,
Hmm.
is that like people are isekai from different timelines of the world and put into like this simulator almost.
Hmm.
And the goddesses are not actually goddesses, but they're actually like analytical assistants or something along those lines. And they kind of
Bureaucrats.
like, yeah, they're bureaucrats from another world, right? And this is more or less like a playground area. It almost makes me think that like all of this is an experiment, and that like Satanta, and then Hero and Lou, they're all, or anyone, maybe even anyone who has mana, is actually reincarnated from a different world or from Earth and from whatever timeline, and they're all made to like compete almost.
Hmm.
Um, and this is just Lou's story in this entirety of like the simulation.
I mean, we've seen how many people have been reincarnated to defeat the hero.
Quite a
Who's to
few.
say the hero isn't a reincarnate? One of the comments that I saw was like the hero is, it wasn't marked a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler. Is the hero is the girl that um he was initially with in the first episode, who like he saved or whatever, who's in
Mm,
the plane with him, is actually her reincarnated. Would be cool. I don't know if that's true, but it'd be neat.
yeah, that would be interesting because, well, the only reason I don't know if that would be true or not is because when the plane exploded, we saw the scene of this.
Mm.
When the plane exploded, his like the bureaucrat was descended from whatever office she was in to retract, like achieve, like extract him from
Yeah.
dying. So who knows if the girl that he saved was also the hero, because she would be getting reincarnated at the same time. But who's to say that like they didn't wait to reincarnate him, you know?
Time doesn't seem to really matter with these reincarnations.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't. So it could very well be a thing. I'm. What do you think about like? Obviously, like yeah, it was super cool the way like that he set everything up and like slam the tungsten rod into the ground, and oh man, he destroyed him in one hit, and like it was awesome to see him like stall. Like yeah, that's all cool. What are your thoughts on like the very end, like the post credit scene?
When we see the hero,
Yes.
um, I was not expecting it to be like a kid
Yeah.
for sure. But what my biggest thing was, like, they introduced Epona Rhiannon, what the hero's name. They introduced her as the hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is the hero. So it's like everybody knows about the hero. I mean, it's not like what how is did this person get the title hero? Because they haven't actually saved the world yet. That's what I was confused about. And also, like, his dad knew about the hero.
Yeah, he did. Like he addressed them as, "Oh, the hero's coming right now." As like, damn, like you know who that is? Like
Yeah, I'm confused about that because, like, when would he have told him that, like, I've been sent here from a different world to destroy the hero? Or is the hero just known?
that. It makes no sense that the hero is just. It's weird because Lou would have heard of the hero prior in his life as being reincarnated.
Hmm.
Like you just don't have like this amazing magnificent figure that exists in a world, and you're just like now finding out about, oh, the hero. Like dude, how the hell did you know about the hero? Like
Right. And why does everyone know about the hero? Because the hero defeats, like, the demon lord, but that hasn't happened yet. So you would think that doing that, becoming the hero to save the world by defeating the demon lord, is how you earn the title hero, but they're already the hero. I don't get it.
I don't understand it either, and they seem extremely powerful,
Hmm.
but they don't look very menacing or powerful whatsoever.
It's like a kid.
Yeah, it's like a kid. And you said girl. I mean, Epona. That could be a girl's name with an A at the end. You know.
I don't know why I keep saying girl. It just I thought it was a girl.
Give you a vibe. It could. I mean, sometimes A's at the end of names are women names. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass.
Yeah, it just looked like a girl, but also like a girl pretending to be a boy is what
Mm,
they looked like.
mm.
Doesn't matter what they are. I'm really excited for them to meet though. Dude, what if it is a girl and he just like instead of defeating her, he just like makes her a part of his harem too.
Oh my God, Nick! Don't even say something. Don't even speak that into an existence because that's all this is. 54-year-old man tricks three 15-year-old girls to be in his harem. That's oh my God,
And
no.
he kissed Dia, so
I was like, bro,
mm,
you're in your 50s. You're in your 50s. Don't do that. And he did it. I was like, God damn it. We
he
will
did
not
it.
forget. We will not forget. We know who you are. This is an isekai for a reason. You are reincarnated and you're old. God damn it.
Dude, but like, all right, serious question. At
Mm.
what point is he allowed to like because he lives in this world now, is he ever allowed to date
Yeah, when they're 18.
when they're 18? Okay, but then he's like 70 at that point.
I know. Well, he would be 70, mine 70, because he would be an additional 20 years, but like, yeah, I guess 18 probably minimum.
Okay. Okay. It's a weird situation for him to be in because he's addressed it too. He's like, I'm not this. He said something like, my mind is mature, but my body isn't.
He knows. He
He
knows.
knows.
He
He
did it
knows
and
what
he
he's
knows. He
doing.
kissed her and he knew.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He can't be
Mm-mm.
doing that.
Same thing. Takamichi did it. Takamichi's. He went up and kissed. I was like, mm-mm. You're a 25-year-old man. Don't be doing that.
Yeah, it's weird.
It
Anytime
is.
there's yeah, it's like Back to the Future type weirdness.
Yep. And you're like, I see. It's like everyone here knows. Everyone here knows. Don't be doing that shit. And then they write them to do it anyway. But I don't know.
That's that cringe factor that
It
this
is.
show likes.
This show, we're not gonna ignore it. There was a lot of cringe in this show.
Yeah.
Like there was some weird shit that happened and stuff that made us uncomfortable and almost had us drop it. But we kind of were like, if it stops, we'll continue watching it because and it did, which was good. So yeah,
Yeah. That's the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated into another world as an aristocrat. Is that the whole thing?
that's the whole thing. I don't think I've ever said it out loud or heard it be said out loud. So that's the first for me.
Yeah. Dude, that goes against my morals and my beliefs. That
What does the length of the title?
yes, you told me to title that wrong.
Okay, so I heard I read online, I think, or watched the TikTok. That's why I'm not unsure, but no, it was definitely TikTok. And the creator said that the reason why these new animes, the titles are so long, is because that they all originate from one specific light novel website,
Mhm.
and that readers of these light novels don't want to invest hour or 2 hours to read a light novel to determine whether or not they're going to be interested in it or not. So what they
Mm,
do is they write very specific titles that gives the reader enough information on whether or not they want to read it or not.
that's kind of smart.
It is. So that's kind of where like I've been killing slimes for 300 years and I maxed out my level, or the world's finest assassin that gets reincarnated as an aristocrat. It gives you the ability to like be like, oh, I under like it's like almost a synopsis in the title.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll lighten up on it. I understand now.
Yeah, I think that's so that is kind of a reason why anytime you see a show with a super long title, it's probably originates from a light novel, and it probably I don't know might be decent, who or trash. I don't know.
I
You
don't
never
know.
know.
But like Demon Slayer, that's short, that's sweet, that's perfect. Like you know what it is. It's about slaying demons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is or Attack on Titan. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah.
Could be called the Attack Titan. But I think I kind of remember reading something about that where there's like a translation issue. And Attack on Titan just worked because he's the Attack Titan.
Mm.
But
He is
if
the
it was
Attack Titan.
called the Attack Titan, that would be kind of stupid.
That would be.
Hmm.
Is he the Attack Titan? I thought he had multiple Titans.
Well, yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there next week.
Yeah. All right. So we got Platinum Men gone. No
Go
more.
on.
Season 1 of The Assassin. I'm just going to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would want to watch it again when it comes back.
I agree.
What else did we go over already? 86. Sad, but we're going to get there.
It's gone for now, though.
And we had another one, which was done. I don't think there's going to be a season 2. I don't think there needs to, because it was wrapped up so nicely. And that's Blue Period.
Oh, Nick, there's definitely going to be another season.
Is there?
The manga is ongoing.
Is it real? Oh, man,
Yeah.
I don't need it. I think they told a beautiful story in 12 episodes.
Wow, I definitely see that. Like, for sure, they definitely told if it wanted to stand alone at its current state, it totally could, especially with that ending. But let's go after the first episode first, episode 11, the start of the second exam.
Okay. You go first. I like when you talk about this show.
Yes. All right. I do. I at the end of this 12th episode, like I love this show so much. I don't know if there's ever been a show that has touched me the way that Blue Period has, mostly because the way that Yaguchi gets stressed out is the same way that I get stressed out and show physical symptoms, which is really close. So I really, really like this show. So it just takes up like the first 11th episode starts with him not even in the room yet. Like he hasn't even made his way up the steps with all his gear, and he is completely overwhelmed and in a state of complete panic, and he's unable to muster the ability to stand up and carry his gear up to the whatever 8th floor or whatever. I was kind of sitting here thinking whether or not he was suffering from panic or some sort of dissociative episode, whether that there'd be just plain up dissociation or derealization or depersonalization. I think he was more or less in a series of kind of like ongoing panic. He didn't go into a panic attack. I think that like by the time he got up the steps and into the room, he, instead of panicking, his body kind of just yoinked him out and he went to sleep, which is like a trauma response that absolutely can happen. But he comes to, and then he finally starts with his artwork, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. Like at this point, like he's sitting there, the lights are too much, the model is too much for him to handle, the smell of the paint, the smell of the oil paints is freaking him out. So like that's what made me realize, okay, he's definitely in panic mode, and like his sensory overload is way too high. So yeah, he does go to sleep. But he does make like a proclamation saying that like, okay, starting later than everyone else is what I've always done. So like,
cool quote.
Cool, awesome quote. And it really shows the kind of character that Yaguchi is. Like, it doesn't matter that he started later in his career in painting. It didn't matter that he started later in his second day exam or second exam. Like, he is going to prevail because that's just the character and who he is as a person.
Yeah, there's a good quote in the second episode that really kind of summed this up, and he describes himself as insecure but arrogant at the same time.
Yes, I wrote that down too, and that's I feel like the fact that he is able to articulate those, because in the past 11 or 10 episodes, we've seen that Yaguchi has always relied on the words of others to kind of describe who he is as a person. In this or that episode, when he calls himself both, what did he say, confident and arrogant? That
lacks confidence, but is arrogant at the same time.
Yes, that is kind of him having like a self-realization on who he is as a person, and that didn't rely on the words of others to kind of formulate that. That's something that he specifically came up with about himself. So
he then uses that to fuel his entire piece.
Yes, exactly. And that is kind of like the defining moment of Yaguchi. And he takes that insecurity and that lack of confidence, but that mixture with arrogance, and we're kind of spilling into the 12th episode, and I think that's okay. But he kind of really realizes that, hey, the model being nude isn't about me and the way that the model is nude and the way they see themselves. but it's the way I see the model through my own lens, who
Hmm.
I am as a person, you know? So he then creates a piece of art that is reflective of who he is and the way that he sees the world through the figure, you know?
Hmm.
Um,
It's really the first time that he's done that because all of his art was always about like the techniques and the composition. And
mhm.
other than the one time, his first piece, The Blue Period, which was like him just expressing himself, this is the first time that like he expressed his himself through his painting and not just technique and trying to make the best picture that he can.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even realize that. That draws a stark similarity between this blue period piece and this, final exam piece. It's the one time where he actually like was expressing himself.
All right.
Wow, because even up into before he like figured out what he wanted to do, he was saying like I have three things right now. It's like I have to theme, composition, depiction. Like that's it. That's all I'm worried about. Until he realized, through the lens of others is how he's going to get it done.
Yeah, and how he can use like he's using his naivety or his lack of experience to his advantage at that point because
Hmm.
an experienced artist, and like you said, he was going into it like I need X, Y, and Z, and then he just had that epiphany and was like, it's not about that. It's about nudity, how I perceive nudity, and what did he say? Nudity is pathetic and unreliable to me, and wearing clothes is a guilty act of trying to hide my nudity, and that's what he painted,
Hmm.
and it was cool. It was so cool.
It was. I couldn't get over how awesome it was. There's so much like theme packed into this show that it's hard to like dissect it all.
Hmm.
Um, and I hope we're doing a good job with it. But it was just really good.
It really was, and I think one of my favorite parts of the last episode was when Yodasuke like compliments him, and he just loses his shit because he's like he has it's such a weird relationship that they have, but like he
So weird.
idolizes him.
Yeah,
He thinks he's a genius, but they don't communicate like that. And I'm pretty sure Yodasuke also idolizes Yuguchi,
yeah.
but it's like this is weird. Like they both know it, but they don't say it.
I
Vibe.
think I think that relationship they have with each other is a microcosm of the way that people view themselves and the others around them that they don't really know, that they're more like acquaintances with, or even those that they pass by every single day of their life. And I'll kind of explain what I think about like what I mean by that. And that is like we oftentimes, and the simplest way to say it is like the grass is greener on the other side, you
Mhm.
know? Like Yaguchi thinks that Yatsura is like this Yasuke is like this amazing artist and he can do no wrong and he's super calm and cool. Like he paints all day, like to go into like a super difficult university to then just play Pokemon. Like he wishes he could be like that.
Mhm.
And then on the flip side, Yasuke is like envious of Yaguchi and how confident he look, or how confident he is. He perceives him like he displays to others, even though he's not confident in himself.
Mhm.
He displays confidence, and it's almost like you don't know what someone else is going through until they tell you. So like if Yaguchi had never expressed lack of confidence or whatever what may have you, Yasuke would be none the wiser. He thinks he could think that Yaguchi is like this arrogant, like good looking kind of like artist. um Same thing with Hashida, like Hashida looks calm, cool, and collected, but he failed.
Mhm.
Like we don't know what was really going on in Hashida's the entire time. He was like, I'm cool, whatever, whatever, and he failed. So like we don't know what's really going on the inside of him.
Right.
And life might not be better on the other side, Nick.
No, just because he's a genius and like it seems like it comes naturally to him. One of his quotes from earlier on the show is like painting is all he has,
Mm-hmm.
and like he doesn't have friends. That's like the only way he expresses himself. Whereas Iguchi, like he went and had sake with his boys after and like celebrated, and yeah, Yosuke went home and played Pokemon.
And play it kind of this I'm gonna get real for a minute. That conversation that they had between each other, reminded me of a conversation that we recently had. And I think it was because we were playing video games like maybe like last week or 2 weeks ago. It was just you and I running duos of Warzone, and we were talking about like where we lived,
Mhm.
and like I was like, oh, like I would love to get a job in Boulder and live there in the mountains, and how fun it would be. And it's boring and like out here, and you were like, yeah, but you don't have anyone out here, like all your friends don't live near you, like, and it made me think like, oh shit, like it's it's not like the best everywhere, like that next place to be isn't the best.
Mhm.
It's kind of like no matter where you go, there you are, in a sense. um and yeah, and the fact that they were looking at each other through like these eyes of like, oh, I wish I was you, but it's you. They don't want to. They in reality, you don't want to be that other person. You just want to be
Right.
yourself.
Dude, that's one of my favorite quotes like
Yeah,
ever. No
that's
matter
me
where you
too.
go, there.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty good parallel. What you were saying there. It's home is where you make it. Home
Yeah,
is who you're with.
grass is
It's
greener where you water it, not where the other side.
exactly. Dude, I'm planting grasses here though. Dude, there's no grass here.
There's no
There's,
grass,
there's no
just a
grass in
blown,
Colorado.
just
It's
a
all
blown
brown.
down fence.
Yeah. So I'll be watering my own grasses here.
Good, me too.
But back to back to the show. Another like there's just so many like things I want to talk about. Like I just noticed things that you notice. You're like, oh, of course he's doing that. Like when after he got accepted, like he didn't accept himself getting
Mm.
accepted. He was like, it's not really real until I get the papers in the mail, or and just like he couldn't fathom it. He couldn't accept the fact that he actually passed.
Yeah, I thought that was like wild. I can't believe I almost skipped over it. Like I had scrolled on my notes just down to Demon Slayer because I was getting ready to move on to it. And like there's so many like other things that we just didn't talk about. You're right. Like the fact that he didn't accept that he got accepted. Like he's literally standing there with the ticket and he's looking at the ticket and he's looking up and he's looking at the ticket. He's looking up and he's like, oh, this can't be right. You know? Like there's no way. Like the girl with the skunk hair didn't even get in. Like and I got in. Like that's crazy. And then he's like he kind of like made conditions with himself, and it was like almost like he was moving the goalpost every single time with his acceptance. Like, oh, the ticket shows my number, but I don't know if that's true. Let me go up to the front desk. Like, oh, I'm gonna go up to the front desk, and I won't know until I get my documents. And then once he gets his documents, he's like, oh, like I'm fully not even there. Like he even talked to his instructor. She's like, are you ready for university? He's like, I haven't even fully digested it yet. So the fact that he worked so hard to get to this place and he hasn't even realized that in April he's starting at university at one of those prestigious schools that he doesn't have to pay for. Um, and that's another thing. Like they even flash back to when the one girl's like, "Yeah, I'm going to take off. I'm going to work a part-time job. I'm going to come back when I have enough money to." She was saying like, "Yeah, financially, what are the two like the worst thing you can do is be financially like unstable and try to become an artist." And like
Mhm.
it's like Yuguchi is fighting both of those things right now, like financial instability from his family, like they can't pay for college, like he has to do this or he's not going to college to become an artist. Like there's no plan B for him in terms of art. And then also like the fact of like people break as well. Now one girl had said it like, it's up to him on whether or not he wants to succeed or fail here. So he's fighting both the the panic of failing for both financials and like not being good enough.
And this is why he's breaking out in hives and can't open his eyes, and just the amount of stress that he's been under. And that's why I think this could have ended in this first. Like we got a whole story. I mean, like it's a season, so it should be a story arc. But like it just wrapped up so well. He got into college. We saw his like growth. Like what I guess we're gonna see what it's like in university in the second season. But like he got over such major hurdles already. How can they make more hurdles? That's why I was like, oh, it's done. Like this was perfect. But I'm kind of happy that there's a second season coming
Yeah,
because I like the characters.
I'm thinking now it's almost like it's a sports show like an American sports show where it's like they try to get to state finals and then they win state finals and then they're state champs and they're like, yay. And then you're like, and then everyone else is like, they're all going D1 or whatever, but you never follow them through college. Like the movie's over, the show's over.
Right.
That's kind of like this. Yeah, you're right. Like he's going to college and you're like, okay, like, I guess.
Yeah, like what I'm not upset by it. I was just thinking that it was a very well packed story all in one season. It's a good thing.
I think you're right. I want to check if they have, hold on a second. Let's see what volume they're up to. B period season 2 release date. Yeah. Predictions.
While you do that, I'm going to turn my light down because I'm starting to turn glowy.
Oh, you don't want to be glowy. I don't even know. Doesn't even say. Huh.
I love the sound of when you type.
Thank you. It's my mechanical keyboard. Chair MX Browns, I think.
Sponsor us.
Yeah, they're on 11 volumes of the manga right now.
It's usually 1 to 2 volumes per episode, or 1 to 2 chapters per episode.
I think it's like 3 chapters an episode, or 3. Okay. Which I search how many episodes. How many volumes of Blue Period with the anime cover? There we go. That doesn't help me.
Well, I guess we'll find out when.
We'll find out. I'll figure it out later.
If it's announced. No one wants to sit here and watch us Google things.
Okay, 25 chapters. It did 25 chapters, I think. Yeah.
So
no one wants to steal Google anything.
Right? About 2 per episode. 2 chapters an episode.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's multiple chapters per volume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's probably going to be a season 2, is what you're saying.
Yes. I think there has to be. There has to be. Yeah. I know that you would not want it to end, or you're okay with it ending. And honestly, like the way that it ended, it was really great.
The only thing I'm worried about is, like, I'm not upset that there's going to be more. Like, I want to know what happens. I just don't want them to ruin it, because it was just it was a very well told story in 12 episodes.
So what I'm hearing from you is that you are scarred from shows that have really great first seasons.
Yes.
That told an entire story that could have stayed there, and then completely botching the second season.
Yes. I feel like that's happened to us before.
Oh, it has. That fully has. Fully has. God, I've never seen a show make more appearances per episode than fucking The Promised Neverland season 2. I swear to God, it just doesn't stop. Like anytime we need to pick on something, it's always that.
It deserves it. It really does.
Yeah.
But we got
it does.
We got a good one left though.
Yes, we do.
It's carrying over into season 5 of our show. And I can't wait to be watching this and Attack on Titan at the same time, because they're my 2 favorite shows.
Oh, both on Sunday too, Nick? Get over it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. That's Demon Slayer.
Episode 4 tonight.
And 5.
Yeah, well, we like to cut them up because I'm doing a new thing now. Well, we are doing a new thing now where we are putting all the episodes for the new season 5, in a playlist just together. So, like, we have to keep them separate.
All right, so Demon Slayer, episode 4.
Episode 4 tonight. Yeah, so Zenitsu is done for at this point. It is kind of weird talking about 2 episodes at the same time. No, 1 episode when you know what happens in the next one. Anyway, Zenitsu's down. And like Tengen is just like, yeah, I'm sending Tanjiro and Inosuke home. Like he wants nothing to do with them at this point because it's just way above their pay grade to be fighting an upper ranked demon. Yes. And honestly, I understand what the Akaza has done to the Rengoku. I think that Tengen was making like the right decision.
Right.
But obviously they just did not listen whatsoever.
Well, they didn't know the rank of the demon at the time. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
only found out that it was sixth rank, but he knew there was some tomfoolery going on, and there's definitely some sort of strong presence in this demon. When they
Yeah.
found out that it was a rank 6 or in the upper 6, kind of changed everything. I don't know if that was in this episode, but
It was. It was at the towards the end when Tanjiro uh captures the scent of a demon because he goes and tries to talk to like the princess girl. I think her name's like Orion or something like that, or Ran or something, and is like, "Hey, I'm leaving. Like, tell the head like housemaster that I'm bouncing. Like, here's some money, payback, whatever." And she's like, "Oh, I'm leaving too. Like, someone's paying for my wedding or to be wed to me, and I'm leaving this area." Um, and then obviously the demon showed up and was like, "Eh, you ain't going nowhere, bruh."
it used as a perfect cover of like they're leaving, and you can just eat them, and no one will
Yes,
know.
exactly. And that's kind of like what this upper rank demon has done is what you just said. Every time a girl gets to leave, she ends up just killing them anyway,
Yeah.
eating them.
Talk about like the perfect cover story.
I know, right? And they kind of talked about it in this episode. They were like, like Zenitsu and Tengen's wives have to be alive still because like yes, demons do operate only at night and they kill only at night, which is pretty good for everywhere else but here because everyone else is awake at this time.
Mm,
Like no one's awake during the day here. Like it's
right,
only at night.
right. And so so I'm like, it's non sequitur, but meanwhile, like as this is going on, Inosuke is just destroying the house that he was in because Tanjiro's was I don't know why I just got to this, but there's a point to it I really want to talk about is
Mm-hmm,
he's destroying the house,
mm-hmm.
and um he's like, it's time to stop hiding, I'm going to be Inosuke again, and he pokes his head up through the ceiling, and he's like, mice, bring me my sword, and there's these two muscular mice. They're called the muscular mice, and they
Yeah,
just
they are.
carrying swords over. I was like, what is this?
I was like, this show is going off the rails at this point. These muscular mice are just sword over the head, like da 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 da.
Yeah,
Da.
and they're like, they have personalities. They're like, they have to, at the end of this episode, they were talking about like how to become a muscular mouse, and he's like, they have to be arrogant enough to like be obsessed with their own muscles. But it was just like, this is amazing. I love
They're
this.
they're like Tengen, but in mice form. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, dude, it was great.
It
I had to talk about that.
Oh, dude, you have to. I have it all in caps. I'm like muscle mice. I'm like muscle mice. What? I love them. They were the coolest. They're like the coolest little characters ever, man. It's like, damn.
Yeah, dude, it was just, and I love the post credit scenes,
Hmm.
like the silliness, and that this one was about the mice, and they're just the best. It's like you get this. It's such a dark show,
Mm,
and people die all the time,
they
and
do.
then a minute of credits go by, and then it's just like everyone has their goofy faces on, and it's like, what do they say, hin hin or something, nin nin, and it just started. What does that mean? I don't know. I just
No
love it.
idea.
I
I
love
do
it.
too. I think they overall up the comedy level in this show, just with like some of the faces that the character makes.
Mhm.
Um, like goes into like that comical black eyes, straight mouth, like
Mhm.
very round head. And yeah, I love the outro episodes. My favorite one is the muzzle Nesco one. And she's like, Oni-chan, I will save you. And he's like, Nesco butt-chin, oh my god.
Speaking of the comical, like Tanjiro went up to his head lady Oiran and was like, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm actually a guy." And she's like, "Yeah, I know. Like, I could tell you were a guy this whole time." And
Yeah,
he gets this like, "I've been found out."
she's like, your voice, like it's not ladylike at all, and your muscles, like you're definitely. I knew the whole time. Oh my god, that was awesome. That was so funny.
I was like, I got angry at the demon when he went after her because I was like, she's so nice,
Yeah,
when she went after her. I was like, damn, this
it
trying to
kind
go
of
after Koinatsu.
makes you feel like, oh, it kind of fuels the hate for these demons even more because they'll just go after anyone. Um, and yeah, it's just kind of like I don't know, like you just hate, like you're just like, why, like anyway. the one thing that I wanted to like also bring up was in this episode was that so Tengen is actually a shinobi, right?
Right.
And Naruto, they're all obviously shinobi, right?
Right.
Did you notice that Tengen does the Naruto run?
Yeah. Yeah. When he was running on rooftops.
He's just like, "Dun, dun, 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 dun." It's like, I was like, having like, no, not the Naruto run. Like he's actually running like he's a Naruto. Like, and it's like, is that like a ninja thing? Like, is that something I don't know?
Do you think they're trying to like pay homage to it
They
to
very
Naruto?
well could.
Because I always thought they did that in Naruto because they didn't want to animate their arms when they were running.
Oh, that would make
But
sense. Like, because it's so many frames that they'd have to redraw.
right, and that's what I thought. Maybe it's a thing, and that's what ninjas do. But it seems so inefficient to
It
run that
does.
way.
It does, and it's just weird. It's like you have to keep your shoulders back, and like there's so much wind resistance. But when you run like this, you're like using your upper body to like spin your hips, and like I don't know. I wonder if anyone knows. If anyone knows, tell us because we have
Please,
no idea.
yeah, please let us know because I wanna believe they're just paying homage because they use the word shinobi. I mean shinobi is an actual Japanese word.
Yeah.
Um, the female ninjas are called kunoichi. This is another thing that they do in Naruto. He's got a kunai.
Mm.
In the next episode, you see him with a kunai, which
Mm-hmm. Naruto. Yeah.
but it's also a ninja tool. Kunai are real.
This is true.
I had a kunai once, Damien.
Oh, I bet you did. You probably got it from some Amish flea market that you and your dad went to. I know you did. Where'd you get it from?
I got it in like a tourist shop in Maine. I was like, I need to
That
have this.
that. Oh my god!
And
I was thinking flea market in the Amish land.
those are things. One of my friends growing up, his family owned one of those stands that sold like ninja knives and stars and stuff like that. So it is a thing around
It is.
Pennsylvania.
It is. It certainly is. I know the Amish market where I grew up. Definitely, they had a whole like ninja tool section with also airsoft guns.
It's like, who is this for?
I don't I always liked going through this Amish market, and going through there was the weirdest section. You're just like, you don't use them, you just look at them like,
Mhm.
and this was in the early 2000s, like anything. People were weird.
One, who buys that? And two, I mean, people do. I
Yeah.
did. So
I mean, you did. You are the first. You are the people
I did.
who would do
So,
such a thing. That's not
but like,
me.
you're just walking through and like you have chicken pot pie and whoopie pies and like you get homemade butter and then you can also get a samurai sword. So
It
that,
serves all your needs. I don't know. I don't see what the issue is here.
I'm the guy that buys that. I did it. I also bought Ninja Stars.
Oh my
So
god! Did you
I
actually
bought
like
them
throw
all at
them?
once. I tried. It didn't work.
Didn't
It didn't,
work.
yeah. I bought it all at once though. It wasn't like I bought this kunai. Now I need Ninja Stars. I went somewhere else to buy them. I was just like, they're all here. I'm gonna buy them. I'm a nerd. I tried. It's way harder than you think.
Oh, I can only imagine. It's probably like throwing a hatchet though. Once you learn how to do it, you know.
Right, right. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So the end of this episode is that Tanjiro starts fighting this upper ranked demon, and Tengen is obviously nowhere really to be found just
right.
yet.
That's yet.
And then episode 5, things are gonna get flashy. Yeah, Tengen finds his wife.
He finds his wife. He finds all the wives.
He does, which is
Happy
good for
reunion.
him.
Good for him. Yeah, that's like a thing. I always thought, like going into this, I thought when he said wives, it was just like they were just like his girls, like. But they're actually like a polyamorous family. They're wives.
Yeah, they're his wives, and he's a good looking dude. Like Zenitsu's pissed, but Tengen's got many women. I noticed. So like he obviously finds Hinetsuro first, who's tied up because obviously the demon was going to devour her, and yeah, he pretty much just like heals her with a little pill, and then he's like, "Yo, leave this place. Don't come back. Like you're done."
Yep.
And
She
then
didn't.
Nick.
She
And
didn't
then
leave.
she didn't leave?
No, she was there.
Where was she at?
She was down in the hole.
No,
Wait,
no, that was her
no, it was
other.
just two. It was just two.
That was
Sorry.
the other two. Anyway, before we get to the whole issue, dude, he pulls his weapons out for the first time.
Yeah, it was so cool.
He's like, and then they like unraveled, and he grabbed them, and he just pulled. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Oh my god. Okay, so and then we go to Tanjiro, who's just trying to fight this demon, and it's just not working.
It is not working. So you want to know something I like about this show a lot?
And what's that?
Is this a shonen? I don't know. Whatever. I've seen so many animes where the main character gets beaten down in a fight, and through some act of sheer willpower, they end up winning the fight. You know, it's like
Yes.
they overcome a barrier that they have in themselves, and like they make a promise. I'm not going to lose this fight. I'm going to save everybody. And Tanjiro's doing that right now. He's like, I need to win this fight. There's no if or what. I have to. And he's totally not going to win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm assuming that because of the end of this, like they're all going to gather around and fight together. Like if he didn't have his reinforcements to come, like he's dead. There's no way. He's so outclassed in this fight.
He is. He's completely outclassed. And you're right. There is. I get that feeling as well. Like there is no Tanjiro figuring it out or overcoming anything right now.
No.
Which freaks me out a little bit just for the basis of the entire show. Like I put this down, like this upper rank demon is not as strong as Akaza is. And Akaza is the third strongest demon. So there's two others that are stronger than he is. And then there's Muzan, who's obviously makes Akaza like piss his pants when he's in front of him, you know?
Right.
So what is going to happen now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Rengoku died. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels like, oh yeah, because Tengen seems super strong. Like, I have a prediction when Tengen fights this demon, he's going to smack dog shit out of her, and that's going to be it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to do like everything else, you know, all the other demons.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that about this show is like there's this ominous feeling throughout all of it because we know that they're so outclassed by the demons.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be just like through the power of friendship or some talk no jutsu they win. Like something is going to have to happen, some sort of like plan. A miracle essentially is the only way that this is, and I love that.
I feel like ever since I saw that in the Ant Chimera arc in Hunter x Hunter, ever since I saw that happen, where I was like, "There's no way that they're going to be able to outbox these ants. Like, they have to like figure something out." I've come to like really appreciate that. Like, oh, we're outclassed and we need to figure out a way to do it, and it's not going to be just through sheer willpower. It's going to have to be through like tactical killing, I guess you could say. But with Tanjiro right now, he's like so far outclassed, but I think there's a transformation that's happening with him in this episode that I think is going to become more of a core tenet of his character. And that is his breathing technique.
Yes.
He currently is water breathing because that's who taught him, or what he was taught when he first became a demon slayer. And he's realizing that his Hinokami Kagura is actually what he's more not familiar, but like can better execute.
Right. It's what his body is meant for.
Yes. Like even when he has a fever and he's hot, he's better at executing that.
Right.
So I have a prediction that makes Rengoku's death like reasonable. Is that Rengoku gave him his hilt to give to his brother, and his brother did not want to take it. He wanted Tanjiro to take it. So I think that, and based off the way that the demon was mocking Tanjiro's sword, I think the sword's going to break in this episode, and I think he's going to give the hilt to the sword maker and tell him to build him a sword around Rengoku's hilt, and then he's going to be wielding a fire blade.
Right. I think you're spot on. I'm sorry, I just muted myself. I think you're spot on, and definitely a transformation. And we found out that his, how do you say it? Hinogama, his breathing technique.
Yeah.
Is sun breathing. Like we found that out, and sun breathing is the initial breathing technique. So it's
The first one. Yeah.
probably the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna become like a badass
I,
eventually.
I think he is. I don't want to say that he's going to become like the next Flame Hashira.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if he's going to ever make it to like Hashira status.
Mm-hmm.
Unless at like very end of the series and like they defeat the demons and they're like, oh, you're Hashira now, you did it, whatever. um I think he's going to be fully fire, or he's going to be able to do every single breath, and this is going to just be like an Avatar situation where he's just fucking he's ripping beast, sound, electric, you name it, he's doing it, you know.
I don't think that's gonna happen. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Nah.
Dude, when he made that had that epiphany, he's like, I need to use sun breathing, and this is my thing. And he like it flashed to Rengoku, and he's like, I need to set my heart ablaze. Like chills, man.
I was like, yes. I was like, Rengoku, you ain't it back.
It was awesome.
Anytime I can get an appearance, love Rengoku, I'm gonna be happy.
Me too.
I gotta be honest with you, Tengen is really, really kind of making like a really good case for being one of my favorite Hashiras right now.
He's so cool.
He is the coolest.
That's my final note. And like the scene, like when it's a flashback and he's talking to his wives and he's like, you've pretty much been told your whole life that the mission is the most important thing and you should give your life for the mission. He's like, forget that. You're the most important thing. It's you, and then it's the common folk, and then it's me. So always survive. And I was just like, that's so cool.
Yeah, he's such a badass, man. He's such a badass. This dude's got to be like 6'10", you know?
Yeah.
Like the way that he walked up to his wives after he saved them, he like put his hand over him, and he's like a whole person taller than they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude's got to be 6'10", or they got to be a 4'11". I don't know which is which, but it's one of them.
He's a big boy. He's big jack dude.
He is.
Another awesome thing that happened this episode was Zenitsu's entrance. Like when he was still asleep. And I'm just like, this dude, if he got his shit together, could be stronger than like both Inosuke and Tanjiro. Like he's a badass.
That's the thing. So like he could be, but his personality or who he is holding him back completely. You know,
Yes.
He can only do it when he's sleeping.
Right. Which is so weird.
It was that Inosuke's first time experiencing Zenitsu's power.
I like his sleeping power.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't have a bigger reaction because I thought it was as well. I'm like, this is the first time you've seen him just like move at lightning speed. Like he's faster than you are. And then obviously Tengen shows up and he pulls out like his swords and that says Demon Destroyer on them. And you're like, oh my God, like so awesome. And then it's so awesome. And then he's so much faster than Zenitsu. And you're like, holy shit, like this dude is the sound Hashira. Like, that's insane. Like, he's fast.
He's fast. It's just so cool. And then it ends with him saying the quote of what the episode title is. And I'm just like, yes, go up there. I want to see you fight her.
I want you to see his beat. That was the thing. He's like over here. He's like doing his like sword shit. And he's like flicking around. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm just like, dude, Tanjiro's up there fighting for his life right now. Like, you got to stop looking around and get up there. Because like he's dying, bro. Like he can't fight this demon. You're the only one who can do it. But before we end, like I just want to say, like Inosuke getting into the hole, like sticking his head in and not working, and then him dislocating his joints and slithering through the hole. I don't know about you, but like I think it's called splunking or whatever. That freaks me out to like no end. Like the fact that people put their bodies through small holes, like reading stories of people dying doing that freaked me out. Like I'm not going to get into it, but like it is freaky. And when he did it, I was like, oh, please do not do it. And he's like slithering through the hole and there's nowhere for him to move his limbs. And I'm just like, how do you know where you're going is going to lead to a place where you can like be like a Limmy again, you know?
Yeah, it could have just been a hole, you know?
Yeah, it could have been a dead end hole, and then what are you gonna do? Oh my God, it freaks me out, bro. It freaks me out so much.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well.
Not interested. Not interested.
Yeah, Damien's not going splunking.
No, never. You'll never see me in a fucking cave hole ever.
Would you ever see the thing? I don't know why Splunking made me think of this, but there's a completely unrelated, sorry, than what any episode when people fish for catfish and
Noodling.
they noodle it and they
Yeah.
stick their arm in a hole.
Stick their arm in a hole.
You want it to, like, you don't know what's in that hole. Like, it could be a catfish or it could be like a snake or something, and they stick their arm in and pull out a catfish because it's biting their arm.
It's literally thinks their arm is a fish that they can bite onto, and then I don't even know what you do. You grab the inside of the fish, like its innards, and like rip it out of the hole. Then you have a whole fucking catfish on your arm. Like, what are you gonna do with that? You know,
there are better ways to catch fish.
Why
are we still doing this?
Exactly. You could get a PVC pipe, and like wrap it with something, and then like I don't know. There's better ways.
I digress, Damien.
He digresses. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's it. The muscle mice showed up again because they brought Zenitsu's sword, and I was like, "Yeah, muscle mice." Yeah, that's kind of it.
That was it, man. It was great 2 episodes. This next one's gonna be lit.
Oh, it's gonna be lit as fuck. I'm so excited. So excited.
Oh, I can't wait, dude. I think, dude, you know what I like about? So we're using what's it called? Our new software. It's got the live. It's got a live counter in the top.
Oh yes, it tells. Yeah, now you know. Where is it? I'm flipped. Yeah, right here. Live counter. I don't know if everyone's gonna see that. It might just be us. This is our first time using it, and we're like piloting new software because we were using Streamlabs, and Nick wasn't able to see any of the video that we were playing because I don't know how to do it to show to the other person, and like it just Zoom. We were using Zoom, and I was like in there, and Nick was getting reflected in and recorded in, and it was like I was screen recording to have him in, and then I had to line up the audio, and Zoom was compressing. It's a whole thing, so like why not just give this a try? So powered by StreamYard this week. Who knows about next week? I don't know.
It could be something else, but we're making moves over here.
Yeah, we're making moves, we can like switch through things. We can look, and we're gonna watch videos, and you know how it is.
Yeah, to show it's gonna be great. We're gonna be able to watch trailers for things.
We're gonna be watching. We should probably do that eventually to see what we're gonna watch for next season, because holy shit, Nick, Attack on Titan is less than a week away.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Like season 4, we need to do a recap of this season episode. We need to do what the hell we're gonna watch next season episode, and we're gonna have to kick off season 5 of the podcast next week. That's fucking crazy.
That's a lot. That's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things. We can compress it. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry. All right.
Oh my god.
I think we did it, man. I think this is a good episode.
I think that was it. Yeah. What a killer of an episode, Nevins. Yeah. And so we're the Aki Culture Club. We're your 2 wannabe weebs, where we detail the season's newest shows and analysis of old favorites. You can find us at akiculture.club or at Aki Culture Club on social media.
And that's it, Damien. There's only one way to end these.
Peace out.
See ya.
Da-dum.